Good to be here. Tonight, the title is Afraid of Success. Here's why. We're going to get right to the good stuff. My name is Karen Marinez. For those of you stopping by for the very first time, I'm an emotional wellness coach. I help you identify, process, and untangle emotions, unpleasant or pleasant. Some people don't even feel comfortable with happiness. So we're able to manage those emotions in a proper way. None are good or bad, just pleasant and unpleasant, but they all serve a purpose. They're messengers to help us know what we need to work on so we can get to the other side of wellness. Okay, want to say hi to a few people. My dear husband Elvin, always here, always early. Nice, thank you. Yolanda, speaking in Spanish. She's in Spanish mode. Hello to you too. It's good to be here with you. Cindy Windy, yes, had a great weekend. I hope you all did too. It's a good to see you, Candida. Cup of Jamaican hibiscus tea and ready to learn. Go, girl. Nice. She's ready. She's got her tea. That's awesome. Very, very nice. Shawnee, oh my goodness. LaShawn is here. Hello, my dear LaShawn. PJ, hello. Good to have you back. We missed you, Pam. Good to have you here. Ari, hello. Dr. Jesso, hola. We have a Spanglish audience. It's good to have everybody here. Good to see you. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Get your I got my sparkling water here. Your sparkling water, your cup of tea, or a little something else if you'd like. Fabi Boo, hey girl, good to have you. And we're going to get started because this is a really, really good topic. You know what happens as we start peeling away the layers of guilt, unhappiness, pain, suffering, even anger, right? And hey, my Sally, good to have you. As we start realizing, wait a minute, I'm carrying five people's loads that doesn't, but oh, I don't have to. Fabiola, hey, good to have you. This is not something that I have to take care of. Oh, sorry, I should have done this beforehand, right? I um should let other people handle their own stuff, carry their own loads. Really? We start having more energy, more happiness. We feel more hopeful, right? Can I get an amen in the chat? Because y'all are all going through this process. Some of you I'm coaching one-on-one. Some of you are here every Monday and you're loving it. A beautiful friend of mine last week said, Karen, I said to myself, I'm beautiful. People are experiencing joy and happiness on a new level that they've never experienced before. So when we start shedding layers of all that stuff, loads of baggage we've been carrying, you see all the amens, I see them. We start looking at life differently, right? Again, when you change, your whole environment changes. So then you start saying, but wait a minute, okay, now with this extra time and I'm focused on myself, I'm prioritizing myself. What do I want to do now? What goals do I have? You start thinking, well, and it's a beautiful process. However, we have to realize that we have a logical part of our brain, the conscious part of our brain, and then we have a subconscious part. Can anyone guess what the percentage of the subconscious mind controls what, how do I say it? The subconscious part of our brain controls a certain percentage of what we do. Can anyone guess what the percentage is and which is more? Is it our logical conscious brain, or is it the subconscious that does more of the controlling of our emotions and our decisions, the moves we make on a day-to-day basis, how we interact with people, things, do, act? Oh, my dear Renee, welcome. Anybody want to take a stab at it? How much of our subconscious brain? No. How much of our decisions does our subconscious brain make? That's how you put it. Anybody want to guess? And I'm looking to the right because this is where I have the messages coming up. Sally said subconscious 80%. Okay, anybody else? I'll give. Well, Ari says, oh, look at her. Yes, Ari's right. 5% logical. 95% of what we do, say, think, and act is controlled by our subconscious. So that's what we need to work on. Because logically, we say, all right, I'm ready to do this thing. I'm freer, I'm lighter, right? Imani, welcome. Hello. Imani inspired this title last week. Put it in the chat. Fear of success. And a lot of us go through it. Some of us don't even realize it. Some of us don't know that we're sabotaging ourselves. It's one thing for the outside people to do it, but when we do it ourselves, and what's even worse is if we're not aware of it, because that subconscious is doing all kind of things. So I'm going to be throwing out different scenarios and things. I got some beautiful quotes for you, but at first you might be like, what? I can't imagine doing that. But then I want you to think again, we do things on the outside that are socially acceptable. I'm going to do this. I have this goal and that goal. But what's the underlying motive? Remember, we talked about the ego. Was that like a month ago or a few weeks ago? We may think we're doing things for the right reason, but a lot of times it's really to get support, to get sympathy, to get attention. But to be successful, you got to kick it hard. It's not enough to be looking for that outside validation. Like there's so much work involved in being successful at whatever endeavors we want to achieve. Outside is not enough. So it comes from here and really here. So if this isn't healed, if this isn't healing, because we're not ever totally healed, but if this subconscious brain is not in the healing process, we'll never reach our goals and we'll never reach our fullest potential. And what a shame that would be, right? We want to live every day with joy and satisfaction, live it to the fullest, right? So we want to regret proof our lives. Going forward, make decisions so that when we look backwards, we have no regrets, right? And yet you say, yes, that's what I want. But why am I afraid of being successful? Why in my quiet moments do I say, oh, but can I really do? What's wrong with me? I promise there's nothing wrong with you. It's just your subconscious brain has been programmed a certain way. Many of us did not get enough love, attention, and validation in our childhood. That's basically what it is. And so we're pulling this out of something that it's a new pot that we're stirring. We're putting all kind of good stuff in the pot. We're stirring it, and now we're going to benefit from that. But it takes focus. But this is what could happen if we don't do it, because it's so worth it. Here's a quote. Louis E. Boone said, "The saddest summary of a life contains three descriptions: could have, might have, and should have." We don't want to live humdrum lives. Looking back, I wish. We want to look back and say, wow, it was good. Right? Because it should be. So what's the difference between fear of success and fear of failure? Because mostly that's what we hear about. I'm afraid to fail, right? Well, fear of failure is often tied to not meeting expectations, rejection, or embarrassment. But notice this: fear of success centers on the fear of change and the unknowns of reaching out. Once I reach this goal, what is that going to feel like? What is that going to look like? What are other people going to think about me? Right? So both fears, fear of failure, fear of success, can lead to self-sabotage. And what does it do? It keeps us in this comfort zone to avoid potential pain. But that comfort zone pulls us back. And we don't want to live humdrum lives, right? We don't want humdrum. We want the real, we want it all. and we deserve it, right? That's part of it too. Realizing and accepting. Can we just accept that we deserve the best? We do, because we're wonderful. We're wonderful people. Fear of success is also known as stress anxiety because it can cause anxiety and distress and it can interfere with our lives. So it's often the fear, again, of the consequences of success, such as how others will react to your triumph, how you yourself might respond to your own success. Will I be comfortable in that space? What would that look like? And this could be with any goal we may have. In the chat last week and the week before, we were, oh, it was exciting because people were putting their goals in the chat. We were visualizing it, right? Um, it could be pursuing a hobby that we always just never had time for. But now that we're not all out there doing for everybody else, like, oh, I have this space of time that I can actually spend on my hobby. It could be turning a hobby into a side hustle to make some extra money. It could be pursuing a goal that fills our soul. Some people last week, had two people mention it in the chat last week, certain spiritual goals that they had, right? It could be accepting a better paying position at our job. It could even be having a successful marriage. I've had clients that they come to the realization that they've been sabotaging their marriage. Why? Because they never saw healthy marriages in their family. They're the first ones in generations to still be married and they don't feel deserving. They don't feel like they should be the one benefiting. It could be moving out on your own, leaving the family clan. You could be 20, you could be 40, you could be 50, but still at home with the family. And you feel like, I can't leave. What? Right? It could be moving out of the country, out of the city. It could be getting better physically and emotionally. It could be planning an amazing vacation, maybe outside of the country and truly enjoying it. It could be many things. And you can just picture your own personal goals as we continue to talk about it. Okay. What are some causes of the fear of success? One is imposter syndrome. I've experienced that. Sometimes people experience success, they fear that their achievements are undeserved or not as good as others in their field. Or they may fear that they won't be able to live up to expectations or that other people will discover that they're really not up for the challenge. During COVID, I accepted the challenge. Spanish is not my native language. I learned it. It's always a continual process. And I got offered to do interpreting Spanish to English for workers' comp. And I was like, what? I spoke to the person so that I could get the information to refer someone else. I would have never pictured myself as that. And she's like, oh, and I ended up taking it and falling in love with it. It was really nice. I love helping people, right? But I will be sitting there with the doctor and the person, the patient, and I'll be like, and interpreting Spanish to English. And I'm like, Karen, who are you? Are you really doing this? I was proud of myself too, but it's like, do they know this isn't your native language? What they're trusting you to answer questions with this really important, like workers' comp. This is money and all what? Sometimes we're like, who am I? Another thing is misinterpreting feelings associated with success. Now, this is very interesting. Excitement and anxiety share some of the same physical signals. So it could be easy to misinterpret feelings of excitement and think that we're nervous or that we're anxious. And then people could say, I don't want to feel that anymore. I've been anxious before. I've had panic attacks. No, 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 no. But it's really excitement, but they've never experienced excitement. Isn't that interesting? And especially, oh, my darling Cindy, amen. Especially if you're used to numbing yourself for whatever circumstances that were difficult to handle in childhood. A survival technique is, you know what? I'm just going to shut my brain and body down. Then whatever people say, if they attack me, whatever they're doing, it won't affect me as much. But numbing yourself, it's a survival technique. But when you numb yourself to not feel the bad stuff, at the same time, without even wanting to. You're numbing yourself and you won't be able to feel the good stuff. You may laugh. You may, hey, my Marion, good to have you. Thanks for the hearts. You may have moments of happiness, and I put it in quotes because you should feel this much happiness and you feel it down here because it's numbed, right? So excitement, what's that? Happiness, what? Isn't that interesting? So we could mix up excitement with anxiety, like, I don't want to feel that. All right, we're shutting this down. I don't want to feel that, but it's really excitement. Something to think about. We could have a fear of backlash. Sometimes people fear the repercussions of being amazing. The people around me and in my relationships, in my household, in my family, in my neighborhood, at my job, whatever. How will they react to me being successful? Very interesting. It could be a woman who avoids getting promoted because it doesn't align with traditional gender roles. A lot of women, research shows, have turned down those things. Professional, my words are going away. Rising professionally, growing professionally, because it could have negative consequences. She could think, what if I out earn my husband? How will he feel? How will that affect him? Or a girl could say, what if I out earn my dad? Like, right? So we tend to conform to those norms because we fear social or even economic backlash, that family clan. It could also be we're all poor and in misery, and that's how we stay. We struggle around here. Get it right. Don't get it twisted. Life is cruel and difficult around here. And that's our family clan, and we want to stay in it because we want to be accepted. But a part of us is like, girl, you got to grow. You got to move out of this. But the fear, what will they say? Will they still love me if I shoot up to the top and leave this mess? Isn't that interesting, Dr. Joseph? Jill said, wow, hey Jill. Renee, deep stuff, Dr. Joseph, she cracks up. It's very interesting. That family clan, a lot of times we're not aware how much influence they have over us. So it takes courage to not conform and stay stuck with everybody else. All right. Another thing, negative experiences. Some people have experienced negative outcomes in the past after doing well. Like the family may say, oh, you're a show off, you know, or friends that they had. Who do you think you are? Oh, now you think you're better than us because you got that new promotion. And you're just like, I just want to treat everybody for drinks and appetizers. Or she thinks she's something now. And meanwhile, you're just trying to share, right? You want to share your win, your promotion, your happiness. But some people can't handle that. Some people endured hardship because of their success. They've done it before, and the backlash was just too much. And they say, you know what? No, I'll stay right where I am. Right? Shawnee Boo says, will others view me as conceited if I think highly of myself? That's it. That's it. Yeah. So if I get better, I'm well, I'm healing emotionally, I'm prioritizing myself, I'm walking with my head a little high. People are noticing, but our subconscious says, ooh, be careful. They're going to think you conceited. And I say, let them think what they're going to think. Because if they come to those conclusions, they're not vitamin people. We don't need them in our lives. They're toxic. And we talked, I don't remember last week, the week before, removing them, those people from our lives, the people that really love you, the vitamin people in your life. And hopefully, if you don't have any, we're growing that at least getting one or two or three in our lives. They will cheer you. Girl, strut your stuff. You looking good. Girl, where you get that outfit from? You look so happy. That they will cheer you on. Those are the people we want around us. Candida says, get mental health help as we're doing now with Coach Karen Development. Balance self-worth. Exactly. Balance self-worth. That's it. And Gio said, amen. vitamin people. Get some cheerleaders in your life, and Shawnee Boo, you have many, and keep them close. And again, we don't look for outside of validation, but we are affected by the people that are around us. So we're validating ourselves, but we also want the people around us to view us as the gems and the beautiful people that we are. So they wouldn't say you conceited. They'd be like, girl, whatever you doing, keep it up because it's you doing good. You looking good. You smiling, right? And then it's a beautiful thing. But thank you so much for sharing that because it's so true. Shyness or social anxiety, right? People are shy, socially anxious. They may fear if I succeed, I'm going to be in the spotlight, right? People are going to judge me. People who have social anxiety worry about being judged or embarrassed in social situations, so they avoid them altogether. Small crowds, they isolate, right? So if I blow up, if I am successful, if I get recognition for this, if I um, soar, it's gonna be too much attention. I'd rather not. Let's shut it down. Isn't that interesting? But it's what we do. And fear of success can manifest itself in different ways. So here are some characteristics. Avoidance. Again, the person may avoid being a center of attention, being praised, right? Lack of self-esteem, feelings of unworthiness. I did well in the past, and my siblings and or even parents became jealous of me. They created drama. I don't want any parts of that. Or a parent that said, "You want to do what? Oh, baby, you can't do that. Like, why would you try to do that?" And that sticks in our head. So we just avoid the whole thing. Another characteristic is procrastination. The person may delay starting or completing the project. We start, but we don't finish it. Or we just, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, I'll start next week. Oh, next month, next year. And because we procrastinate, we may miss out on the opportunity altogether. Or the end product may be lackluster because we haven't given it that momentum. Look at this for our procrastinators in the audience. Look at this, listen to this quote, Dennis Waitley. Procrastination is the fear of success. People procrastinate because they are afraid of the success that they know will result if they move ahead now. Because success is heavy, carries a responsibility with it, it is much easier to procrastinate and live on the someday I'll philosophy. And that's it. It's heavy because it carries a responsibility with it. Because when we're successful, well, first of all, to get to the success, we have to do the work, right? We have to be consistent. You all are here because every Monday I come on. Fabi Boo said that's me. Renee says guilty. That's why we're here. We're learning, we're seeing ourselves, we're getting the help that we need, right? And we're all in this together. And so let's not delay the project. Let's not put it off till tomorrow. Let's go for it. Let's get it done. And I don't think a lot of us looked at procrastination as fear of success. We usually look at it as fear of failure. I don't want to, but it could also be fear of success because deep down, we know we are something special. And I say, let's share it with the world. But that subconscious says, no, let's hide, let's put it off. Gio says that's deep. Yeah, I'll put these quotes in the chat later tonight because they're really good. What about perfectionism? We got some perfectionists in the audience too. Perfectionism is kind of linked with procrastination because the person believes that they're keeping the bar high, right? But by holding, it's an impossible standard of perfection because it doesn't exist, right? Not now, it doesn't. The outcome will inevitably be disappointing. There's always everybody's like, you did great, and there was no, but I could have, no, but I could have done better. Oh, I wish I had done. But meanwhile, everybody's like, whoa, and even you look at it and say, yeah, it's pretty good. So we want to adjust, not lower, but adjust the standards to be more reasonable. We want to be reasonable and balanced with ourselves. It doesn't have to be, well, it doesn't have to be perfect. It could just be good enough, and people will grab it, eat it up. Whatever the product is that you, or just you performing, whatever it is, whatever the goal is, others will appreciate it if you can, because you want to get to the success and be happy with it as well. We don't want to get to the top and like, oh, this is it. But if we're happy in guilty, yeah. If we continue to work on ourselves and we love ourselves, we'll be happy with the success where we get. It's just that my issues are deeper than I thought. We're looking in the mirror. Because we can't change it if we don't know what's going on, right? And this is all we're not aware, because only 5% of our brain is handling the logical part. All of this stuff is going on and we're not aware. It's amazing. Candida says self-importance, wanting others to know we have value, learning not to focus on that, yes, but on developing balance and self-value. Exactly. We want to look in the mirror and say, girl or guy, we do have Elvin on. I have to remember, hey Elvin, you are special. You got it going on. You keep this up, we going places, right? We want to be able to say those things to ourselves, looking in the mirror and not shying away. I didn't forget about you. I'm very grateful to have you here. Wadley's here too. Hey, Wadley. So we have two guys. We're glad to have you guys here. All right. Another characteristic of fearing a success is quitting. You know, the person may find just any excuse to quit just before the goal is in sight, but over and over, right? So somebody's like, I'm going to move out. It's November 18th, January 1st, I'm moving out. I'm going to find myself a place and I'm going to move out. But then between now and January, even if they have the place, as they're looking for the place, it's like, can I really do it on my own? And this again could be a 20-something, it could be a 40-something-year-old person who's lived with their parents off and on. It's always been like that safety net. Can I do it? But will I be lonely without my family? Can I really be successful without my family? And they say, you know what? I'll just stay. Or they leave and then they come back because I can't. But you can. Don't quit. Don't do it. Stick to the goal. And that leads us to the other thing, self-sabotage. We could put obstacles in our own way just to stay in unhealthy circumstances. Like they said, what do they say? Get out of your own way. Isn't that, again, it's here. We're not aware. We're not doing it why would we intentionally sabotage ourselves? But it's all the things that are here from the way we were raised, what our caregivers, our parents, aunts, and uncles told us as children. And it's there and it keeps going over and over. We've been programmed that way. So we have to reprogram our mind. We have to reprogram. The last characteristic is self-destructiveness, right? So at its worst, the fear of success could involve self-destructive behavior, derailing any opportunity for success. Listen at this. If I get better emotionally, I may not get the attention that I get now from my parents, from my friends, from my spouse. My husband won't stay home with me when we're invited to parties because I have social anxiety and depression. He'll, I'll be expected to go, and he won't be sticking by my side like he used to because I'm healthier. I don't know if I'll be comfortable with that. Or, the attention of people saying, oh, poor baby, how you feeling today? They feel sorry for us. Some of us don't mind that. We like to be the victim. Yeah, poor me. And we say, but if I get better, hmm, I'll just be like everybody else. They'll just expect me to do and produce. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Mhm. And we may never have said these words out loud, but it could be things here and it holds us back and we self destruct. Well, I won't take my medication. I won't get the counseling that I need. I won't do the work. I'm going to resist. I'll stop watching these YouTube videos because I may just get better. I don't know if I can handle that because I'm not going to get the attention that I'm used to getting and that I like getting. But how about we switch it and do well, heal, get better according to how we, right, within our circumstances, within our abilities, and then get the positive attention from others. Gio said, get out of my own way. Love that. Yeah. I was reading this amazing novel last week. It had me engulfed. And it was about this school teacher, and he was reading he would read proverbs to the students to encourage them. Listen at this quote. I loved it. Are you ready? Opportunity did not knock until I built the door. I wrote it in my phone. I'm like, because I wouldn't be able to look back into the big book is this big. Love that. We have to build the door first. And by being here, by working on ourselves, by prioritizing ourselves, by carrying less people's loads and focusing on our things and caring for ourselves, we are building the door. Now the opportunity will knock because we could just open it up. Isn't that beautiful, Danielle? I love it. Opportunity didn't knock until I built the door. Build that door. Let's do it. All right. So, how does fear of success snap the finger? Yes, let's snap the finger. What's the impact of the fear of success? How does it affect our lives? Serious negative impact on a person's life, right? So, some of the ways, Rox, and all these I'm going to put them in the chat afterwards because they're so good. Some of the ways that it can hold us back, fear of success, um, is lower life satisfaction. Humdrum, just same old, right? And we don't want fear of success to reduce our satisfaction with life, to take the joy, the good feeling out of life. No, we want to enjoy it. Jim Rohn, here's another quote. If you are not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you have to settle for the ordinary. Jim Rohn. So we have to take risks, and do it. I don't remember if it was week, the week before. The question was, if you knew you wouldn't fail at something, what is it? If you were guaranteed success, what is it that you would go after and try to do? Cindy likes the thing about vitamin people. Yeah. Another impact of the fear of success is reduced self-esteem. And we're always trying to have better self-esteem around here, right? But when we don't put the work in, then we feel like failures. And you see, it's like a self-fulfilled prophecy. I knew I couldn't do it. So our self-esteem goes kaput. We don't want that. We want to do the work and see the results and just feel better and better about ourselves. And then low expectations. Researchers have found that people with a fear of success tend to adopt low academic and career goals compared to their abilities. They have the ability to be up here, but it's like, just stay down here. So we talked about adjusting our expectations if we're perfectionists, right? But we want to adjust them to be reasonable. We don't want it to go all the way down where we're not reaching our potential. So as a recap, the fear of success causes people to miss out on opportunities, impairs personal development, and makes it more difficult to achieve our goals in life. And we want to achieve our goals. Here's another one. Kandi, that says, starting over at 70 years old with forever in view. That's right, girlfriend. We're young. We're all young. Let's do it. What are we doing? We're going to build that door. Okay. Nikki Giovanni, here's another quote. She said, I really don't think life is about the I could have beens. Life is only about the I tried to do. I don't mind the failure. Listen at this, but I can't imagine that I'd forgive myself if I didn't try. Let's at least try and give it our all, right? Last week we talked about some people are chefs around here, some people are love flowers, want to do flower decor. We have our Itza with the sewing. It's so many different goals. Someone in this chat, I won't blast her, but wants to be a coach, another emotional coach in the future, just all the things. And so let's give it a try so that we don't look back with regret. We want to regret proof our lives so that we're happy now and we look back and yeah, like, yeah, well, it didn't work out, but I tried and I enjoyed it while I was trying it. Or wow, I figured it would do well, but I didn't know it was going to do that well. This is great, but with a smile now, I didn't know we're happy. So, how do we identify the fear of success? You may still be like, I don't know if that's me. One is anxiety, right? Anticipating future consequences, negative consequences of your success. Worrying about being in the spotlight, leaving loved ones behind in the pursuit of your own success. I can't leave my family back there, but they're stuck back there. They don't want help to move, so you move. You build the door and you go on through it. They may follow. Maybe you'll inspire one or two of them, but it doesn't matter. You'll be happy. We may be afraid that things are going to get too complicated. Even in business, people are like, oh, but then my taxes, and if I make more than this, and deal with it when it happens, right? Don't be afraid of success, right? You may be afraid of critics, but build the door anyway. Some people are afraid of guilt. They may experience a sense of guilt by taking the highest score from someone who held the record for the past 10 years, like in a competition, or that their light will outshine someone else who's equally deserving. She's good too, and I feel bad. Or maybe you get your finances in order, but your subconscious makes you feel bad because everyone else in your family, they're in debt, bad credit, but that's not, and so you take your good credit and you buy them, or you take your good credit and you go into debt for them. You take your money and you give it to them, and they don't have a respect for money like you do, so they mistreat the money and now they have you back in debt. Mm-mm. We have to adjust that guilt. No need to feel guilty. If we did it, they can do it. We can share advice, but we don't have to go into debt to help them. A lot of people do that, and then now we're all miserable. No one, who's going to help who, right? We have to get used to being uncomfortable, pushing ourselves towards our goals because it's required to get some growth. So we might have to step out of our comfort zone. Not me. We will have to step, like public speaking, like me on YouTube. What in the world, right? I've told you, this was not in my plan. Public speaking, making strategy plans, whatever it is, I'm not standing in front of a group, teaching, right? Whatever the thing is, we may be uncomfortable, but be willing to do the challenge. Some people are moving right now. Someone in the chat is moving across country, whole new state, group of friends. Everything is going to be new for her. But she built the door and she's about to walk through it. And I know she's going to succeed. It's not going to be easy, but she will succeed. Pressure. The person may feel pressure to have another project in line. Well, if I do good with this, look at how we could think ahead. Now they're going to be expecting me to do something else. I have to follow up this success with another success, and then even better. And then I have to right. It's so interesting how Michael Jackson, with his fame, He always tried to outdo his biggest selling album. They said that was a phenomenon. He would never be able to. But that perfectionist brain of his, no, I have to. And the fans don't care. Even years like we enjoy all the music, right? So being able to say, I'm going to work on this right now and be successful. And then if I continue to be successful, that's fine, but I don't have to outdo this success. No, nobody's asking that. And then pressure. Yeah, all that pressure. No, no, no. You don't have to. You don't have to experience that. People may, what's next? I don't know, but you want to come along for the journey? We'll see. That could be your response, but you don't have to say, oh, no, you don't have to stay in the present, right? We're all about staying in the present, not in the past, not in the future, right now. And be happy, enjoy the process, bask in it. Take your time, small steps, gradual, but consistent. Okay? Itza says she loves that. Just try. Cindy says she's a major procrastinator, but we're working on it, right, Cindy? And Renee says I have to work on turning off the chatter in my subconscious. Girl, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So, what can you do about it? I like these points. Be curious, number one. Be curious and aware of your thoughts and actions. Like Renee said, I got to start turning down the noise, right? What are the messages that you play over and over in your mind? Is it your cheerleader? What's your inner monologue? Or is it the naysayer? Or is it the fear monger? Or is it all of them at once? And what are your responses to the message? That's even more important. The present is a gift. Yes, it is, Candida. So these messages are coming in. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? Why are you trying this? You're not going to succeed. All right. That's the message. Those are the messages. Very negative. What are my responses to it? I'm building the door. Quiet. Right? I'm walking through. I'm going to knock the door. I'm going to build it. Then I'm going to knock it down. Right? How do you respond to those messages? We have to have not in public verbally, but when we're in the house, we can be stop. No, we have to talk to ourselves because that subconscious brain will control us, has controlled us. We want to just lower the volume. Remember? Lower the volume so it doesn't have, yeah. Danielle says those messages need to be quiet. And we're the ones that have the control. We have to quiet them down. And one way to do it is by saying, even though you're saying this, we're still doing this. I hear you, I understand, but we're doing it. It's a brag. We have to get it under control. Number two, start a journal, right? So it can help us track and connect with our thoughts and our responses to the world. Here are some questions to write down. What is your vision of a life well lived? What are your greatest hopes and fears in accomplishing that vision? Write it down. Be truthful and honest with yourself. And the third question, what are the best and worst outcomes of achieving success? Your life vision. How do you imagine you would respond to both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario? Write it down. Spend time with yourself journaling. And then you'll be able to look back and say, wow, Lexia, I can't believe I was afraid. Really? I wrote that? Because you'll be on your way up. The door is built, you're walking through it, right? Number three is to reflect. So consider the possible fear of success and how it has shown up for you in the past and the present. Do you fear a negative outcome resulting from your success? Because again, we usually think of fear of failure. We rarely think of fear of success, but it happens. Oh, sure. Ari wants me to repeat the questions. What is your vision of a life well lived? What are your greatest hopes and fears in accomplishing that vision? And what are the best and worst outcomes of achieving success in your life vision? How do you imagine you would respond to both? Cindy said that's a good one. All right, if anyone here has it, can you type it in the chat in case someone missed out on those? So we also want to reflect, do you fear a negative outcome resulting from your success? Number four, we want to acknowledge the fear, write it down, bring it to the center of your attention so you can focus on it. Acknowledge, and there's nothing wrong with being afraid. It's what do we do with the fear? Fear is that's an emotion. It's telling us, be careful, weigh the pros and cons, make a list, look at this. Are you sure? And then you're like, I'm sure. All right, let's do it. And number five, examine the origins of that fear. Did it come from something that happened in your childhood or adulthood? It could be that dad wanted to start a business. He gave it his all, but he hadn't planned it well. And he didn't get the right people to support him. He didn't put good prices. He, put the prices too low. Mom complained every night because it wasn't going to succeed. It wasn't supporting the family, blah, blah. And you saw all this chaos and conflict around this business that, and then it crashed in the end. And you said, no to success. And that's here and you're not even aware of it, perhaps. Or comments made when someone in the family succeeded. Who they think they are? Oh, your uncle. Now when he comes to the party, now that his business is successful, he wants to bring the best whiskey. Well, why are you upset about that? He's bringing it to share with you to enjoy. Yeah, he thinks he's better than us. So we hear these comments, and again, the family clan says, let's all stay in misery. You go up there and you're successful. You're not going to be accepted here. So we just conform and stay. No. But we have to at least identify where it comes from, right? What message did you take away from your past experience? Or you may have tried something and it didn't go well. Well, again, it's not a failure, it's a learned experience. What did you learn? Like that father, he didn't calculate the cost. He didn't get the right people. He didn't consult to get the right prices to cover the cost. He's just covering the cost. He's not making any profit. What's you see? What would your life look like? This is a good one. If you never pursued your vision of success at all. We don't want humdrum. We want good. We want, right? Get to the nitty gritty. Let's move up. Let's keep progressing. That's a good thing. You can review your journal every week. What are the consistent themes and patterns? When you see that, then you say, oh, that's why I don't feel comfortable with success because this happened to dad, or this happened to cousin Ernie, or this happened to my sister, or my mom said this. Then you can counteract them. Okay. When you start to identify your negative beliefs, your negative self talk, you can reframe them and make them into empowering beliefs. I can't. Oh, yes, I can and I will. You see that? And sometimes we get stuck in our thoughts. So we might need to work with a coach to help us to create an alternative response. So because we're all in our head and we can't even think of what do I say to myself when I'm thinking this? A coach can help. Okay. Number six, visualize success. We did this, was it last week? Picture yourself at the top of the mountain. You've reached your goal. What does that feel like? But also, what are the potential positive and negative outcomes? There may be some. Write them down, picture it. Number seven is self-care. Manage your stress and anxiety by taking care of your mind and your body. So we need to exercise, eat healthy, take time to relax. That's very important. Get good sleep and enjoy the company of friends and family. Vitamin people who are friends and family, right? Practice mindfulness, our deep breathing. When we're feeling stressed, work at focusing on our mental fitness and our physical well-being. It'll help us to progress, proceed thoughtfully in the world, get to our goals, build that door. Okay. Number eight is self awareness. Be aware of your discomfort. Don't shut it down. Sit with the feelings. Again, try to figure out where does this come? Where did that thought come from? Oh, well, if I'm afraid of out earning my husband. Why is that? Oh, because, well, my mom stayed home and my dad always worked. That was the traditional gender roles. So I can't imagine out earning my husband. So I won't pursue that. So we could either stay on the same or I'm right. But again, it's all here in the subconscious, and we're not even aware. We're just moving through life, self-sabotaging, shutting ideas down. No, no, perfectionism, procrastination. But now we're learning. Let me figure out what's, and those feelings and thoughts, are they being of service to me or disservice to me? And how can I adjust my approach accordingly? It's all learning who we are, getting in touch with who we are. And the last thought is to be gentle with yourself. The fear of success is very real, but we want to be aware of its impact over time, like how this is like a mirror, and what we can do to overthink, counteract, not overthink, counteract the thoughts and behaviors that are holding us back so that we can move forward and achieve success. We may have setbacks. That's okay. We're human. The world is imperfect. Things happen. It doesn't mean that we failed. It's a setback. We get up, dust ourselves, or we keep going. The work can be done alone, but sometimes a coach can help, right? Get a deeper dive into what we want to achieve. You know how to reach me: Instagram, email, all the things. And it's not until we start learning from our failures that change happens. Again, failures, how do we view them? It's just a learned experience. So we can partner with a coach. I can provide support. I can challenge you in your self-exploration. Did you think about this? How about that? And once you've uncovered that root of your fear of success, right? The coach can be like an accountability partner as well, cheer you on as you, oh my goodness, achieve the success. That's one of the biggest, the greatest part of my job, is seeing people with those moments, like when they're connecting the dots, like, what? Life is a long journey. That's it. So we want to be patient with ourselves as we work to unravel the fear. Where did it come from? What are the thoughts in my head? Where did I learn that? We want to reconstruct those thoughts with a positive expectation of your upcoming success. So beautiful. It's all good, good stuff. Candida says, thank you, Coach Karen. Great coaching. I'm glad you enjoyed. Here's one last quote for the night. Marion Williamson. Are you ready for this? I'm going to put it in the chat as well because this is a really good one. It's a little long, but it's really good. Our deepest fear. Oh, Elvin, thank you. Please subscribe, like, and share. Yeah, please share this with others anyone you think would benefit from it. And always join, for them to join in. We love to have more people join in with us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. And I love this because that's usually what we think, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. No, our deepest fear is that we are more powerful beyond measure. It is light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Oh my goodness, I feel a tear coming up in my eyes. I love this quote. We're actually not afraid of being inadequate. We're afraid that we are powerful beyond measure, because we are. We know deep down inside we are, because people usually tell us too, if we have vitamin people around us. But as we continue to work on our self-esteem, again, shed those layers of caring for others in a very imbalanced way, paying more attention to ourselves, sitting with ourselves. What am I feeling? What is this emotion? Why do I feel it? Where did it come from? Oh, my mom said that when I was 7 years old. Oh my goodness. I remember my uncle was visiting and he said that. And then we start connecting the dots. That's why I procrastinate. That's why I'm a perfectionist. That's why I self-sabotage. And then we can make the change, right? Then we can make the change. How exciting. So are we going to commit to building the door and then knocking it down? Oh, let's do it. Anybody else want to say something? I don't know. As we close out, any comments, thoughts, any goals we want to talk about, put them in the chat. We have a few more minutes, but it's very exciting. It's a beautiful journey. Let's keep at it. Marion says most doors can be protected by a storm door with a glass and a screen. What are you trying to say, Marion? That you need to build all of that too, or that I don't know what that means. Amazing live. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Danielle. And some people here have told me, Karen, you're asking what our goals are and what lights my soul on fire. They'll say, I don't know yet. But that's part of the journey too. Try different things. You just never know. Just for backup. Also, we should build several doors. That's what you're saying. Build the door, build the storm door with the glass and the screen. Got you. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Fabiola says this is one of my favorite quotes. Which one? The last one I did, or actually going to Home Depot to get. That's right. Get that wood to build the door. Let's do it. We deserve it. We're happier now. Most of us feel a little freer. And even there are some in this chat that I know are struggling with depression and anxiety, deep depression and anxiety, high anxiety that keeps them up at night, wakes them up in the morning. That's the first thing that comes to them. But you're here, and I applaud you for that. You should be very proud of yourself because you're still not giving up. You're still working at it. And that's what matters. It's a journey. It's not a marathon. It's not a race. We're going to get there. Renee says, great subject. Yeah. Thank you, Imani. It was Imani's thoughts last week. I said, yeah, that's a good one. We always think we're afraid of fear, but we're actually afraid of our greatness and the success that we could be if we really put our minds to it. Can you all see my eyes? I'm sleepy tonight. I don't know what's going on, but I guess I didn't take my nap. That's what it is. I didn't take a nap. Love you all. See you next week. Candida says, yes, moving forward. Big hugs to you all. Besitos, kisses. Let's get to Home Depot, get the wood, like Gio said, and build the door. Some will build faster than others. Let's just build it. Everybody goes at their own pace. All right. No self-judgment. We don't want to be hard. We want to be gentle with ourselves. Very kind and sweet. All right. Candida, moving forward. Yes. All right. I think I read. Fabi Boo says, thank you. This was amazing. Imani, excellent. I'm glad y'all enjoyed. PJ, amen. Thank you for being here. Everybody's busy, got so much going on. It's a pleasure to be here together to make time for ourselves. Really happy to have you. Okay. Wow. Good night. Rest. Big hugs. See you next week. Bye. Hello. My name is Karen Marinez. I'm an emotional wellness coach. I help you learn how to identify, process, and untangle those emotions that we all deal with on a daily basis. Vimes Life now has a membership for the English-speaking audience. It's really good news. So let me tell you 5 benefits that you gain by joining the membership. The first one is you get videos made monthly exclusively for you, those who are part of the membership. Number 2, once a month you get a live Zoom with me so we can interact. I can teach you, comfort you, and answer your questions. It'll be really nice. Number 3, you get a separate chat exclusively for those within the membership. 4th benefit, you get special stickers. When you interact in the chat on YouTube Live, when we're live on Mondays, your name will have a little special sticker next to it to identify you as one of the members of the membership. And number 5, last but not least, you get special discounts on our courses. So you say, well, how do I sign up? Right below, right by the subscribe button, we hope you subscribe. Right by the subscribe button, there's a circle. It's white inside, black lettering, it says join. Press that. You'll see the first 3 options are for the Spanish audience with Spanish speaking coaches. Mine is the last one, and guess what it's called? Vimes Life Inner Circle. So come on into my inner circle so we can get to know each other better and I can help you and coach you. I'll see you soon. Bye now.